Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Sunday, May 26th, 2024. It's 1:18 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Let's check out what's going on in the market. It is kind of sideways this weekend, so BitcoinDailyView.com has always got more for you there. Looking at Bitcoin trading volume explicitly, last 24 hours, 3.3 billion, down by 64%. Definitely slowing down over this holiday weekend. There was a dump. What was it? That would have been 23rd, 24th. 23rd and 24th definitely were not the hottest days in the world, and that would have been, last week, towards the end of last week. So, but we moved up a little bit since then. We're going sideways. Not many longs or shorts getting wrecked. I'm not really watching too much leverage happening right now. I'm seeing some big sells come in, but it's not pushing the price down much, and a couple of big buys. But anyway, in general, for the weekend, we are pretty sideways, and not a lot of people trying to long and short too much. All right, looking at longs and shorts, as far as longs and shorts on Binance, where the big money is, 58% long, 41% short. Definitely a long bias for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, 57% long, 42% short. Looking at the top 20 exchanges, in general, they're a mix, mostly in the red, some in the green. They're pretty neutral right now as far as spot trading volume. It's just kind of right there in the middle between positive or negative last 24 hours as far as a move. Bitcoin coming in at 68,869. Looking at the top 100 cryptos in general, most are not doing that much. A couple that I'm not familiar with making little moves, but in general, the market is just straight up sideways right now. We're slightly down. Looking at Bitcoin here on the 4-hour chart, it kind of tells the whole story. As you can see, towards the end of last week, we were moving up. Nice, beautiful upwards channel. Thought maybe we were going to see a bounce there in the 4-hour chart. We did not. We broke below the upwards channel, and now we're just cruising sideways. So, and then if we look at the indicators here, squeeze indicator is definitely in the red. Directional index is in the green. ADX is not popped up yet, and really no volume to speak of recently, at least. So Bitcoin just straight up sideways right now. Let's actually look at a daily chart here and see how things kind of pan out, how they look. Yep, sideways. Bitcoin just straight up, sideways. And if we look, it is kind of playing with just a. Let me do it like this. If you go out to the daily, you can kind of see what's going on. It's just range bound. This is what the whales do when they are plotting, when they're usually you got your smart whales are selling here, they're selling here, they're selling here, they're selling here, and they probably were buying down here, probably buying down here, definitely buying down here. This is inconclusive right here. Anyway, so it would not surprise me if what the whales are waiting to do here, if you just look at their sideways game, it's probably come back down, and let me do a little. So it wouldn't surprise me if now that we've hit that they're probably accumulating right now, it'll come down and then it'll bounce, once again. And so where would I have my sort of dream limit orders in right now? Right around 59,000. See, right there, easy 60,000. I might even put a limit order or two in this weekend, at this holiday weekend, because definitely we see low volume, so it wouldn't surprise me if you could pick it up at right now Bitcoin is coming in at what is it right now? It's 68,000. Well, but you think about it, look at the sideways range. The bottom of this really is 60,000. So I might, and of course the mid range, the heartbeat's right around 64,000. So, I might put just two small limit orders in this weekend, one at 64,000, one at 60,000, just to see if I hit them. That's kind of a crazy way to trade. Doesn't really make sense, but I'll just call those next week's dollar cost average for me. I'll have one at 64,000, one at 60,000, and we'll just see if, boom, over this low volume weekend, we see a wick. What if you caught that wick? It'd be wonderful. But right now, Bitcoin sideways. But one thing about Bitcoin being sideways right now, we had a bit of a dump off towards the end of last week, but I guess technically it's this week. It won't be next. No, it's Sunday, so it's last week. Yeah, Sunday is actually the first day of the week. So last week we had a bit of a dump off, which kind of has messed up the alt market a little bit, etc. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. We still have today. We have Monday, which is part of the holiday weekend. Let's just see what happens. I'm warning about a wick down to 64 or 60,000. I'm going to have limit orders in waiting to pick that up because you know what? It's just possible. Why not? You can see Bitcoin ultimately is ranging sideways here on the daily. So, I mean, there you go. And also, if we look here, the daily MACD, it's beautiful, but the MACD is beginning to chill. The histogram is beginning to close. So let's see what happens. This is definitely a time which is not going to inspire a lot of the daily MACD swing traders. A lot of alts are looking like Theta, which I was rather jazzed about towards the end of last week. But as you can see, kind of like Bitcoin, it had this nice upwards channel that it was running. Things were looking good, nice upwards channel, but then Bitcoin kind of pooped and so did it. But it is sitting here right on the 200 moving average there. Broke below the 314, it's on the 200. Could pick back up. What I'm kind of watching for is some alts, to make these little bounces off the 200 or the 314, or maybe your 140 moving average, whichever ones you like playing with, your 50 or 100, bouncing in a place that makes sense and then getting back into that upwards channel. I do think that next week might be a continuation of some nice alt trades. And it wouldn't surprise me if things like Theta here, which you can see are beginning to pick back up, making that 200 moving average bounce on the 4-hour chart. This thing could hop back into that upwards channel. And I've always found it to be a pretty bullish move because when that happens, you usually find alts do. So if I recreate all that, sorry to make you guys have to endure that, but endure this, yeah. But there's your upwards channel, and I do tend to find, so here's a 4-hour chart, white moving average is a 200 moving average. So if we were to hit that, it basically make the 200 moving average bounce, and you get back up here into the channel, then you're going to see a little bit of a retrace. And if you begin to continue upwards in that channel, that's definitely something that I've seen happen. And when that really does happen, it's usually a pretty strong chart. So I'm going to watch for Theta versus USD to actually, or USDT to actually do that, because you can play it on Binance and KuCoin. I'm just watching this one on Binance US because it's a place that, us little US users can still trade, legally. So anyway, boom. I'm watching it. I think this might be a good continuation. We'll see. It was kind of pushing last week. So I'm going to see as this new week opens what Theta does. We'll keep looking at it. Ethereum, though. Let's see that. So this would have been the 20th of May. Ethereum just kind of took off. And then but really, rather than give it all back, on here on the 4-hour chart, you can see, we're looking really strong. I mean, Ethereum took off, and it's staying strong. So it went up, over. Now what I'm watching out for, though, is what could happen. You could see it completing a BART pattern, 200 moving average bounce on the 4-hour chart, and then boom, it continues. That definitely could happen. So be watchful. And we are trailing off on the squeeze indicator, directional index. Directional index is looking good. ADX could be getting ready to turn up. I'm kind of watching Ethereum. This one's really a little bit hard to call. Let's look at a daily chart. Yeah, daily is, you can see in the daily really where we kind of had a bit of a nice hover with the 200 moving average, which we took back off. We challenged a recent high on the daily, got above it. Now we probably have another challenge to another range to challenge right around 4,046. So, and if we do look, we are seeing something I like seeing. Is daily MACD is looking good, but beginning to trail off a little bit, so be careful. Ethereum, is Ethereum going to keep going, or is it done? Is it kind of, Ethereum's interesting. Maybe it's going to, I don't know. Let's watch Ethereum because I'm feeling this is kind of a positive chart, Also, Ethereum Classic. Everyone likes Ethereum Classic. Ethereum, ETC versus USD. You can play it on a lot of things, whether it's USD or USDT or whatever. I'm watching this one on Coinbase. And I like what I'm seeing here because Ethereum, look at that, boom, upwards channel, Ethereum Classic, and I'll put it right about here. Yeah, you can make the upwards channel here if you want to. We'll just do like that. But looking at Ethereum Classic, I mean, check that out. Beautiful upwards channel. It gave a little bit back with Bitcoin being volatile, but now it seems like it's moving back up to the heartbeat of this channel. And if we look, it's given a lot back. With the squeeze indicator, it may have a good retrace still yet to go, but ADX is picking up. Directional index is looking good. No volume to speak of, but this is an alt that kind of through the craziness has hung in there. And so Ethereum Classic looking pretty good. Ethereum, is this guy going to keep going or is it done? Interesting. I would just definitely watch out for on Ethereum, watch out for a rather extreme possibility of a BART pattern completion, and that's be a 200 moving average bounce. So, you could, if you, I kind of wonder about, like for Ethereum, you put in that glorious limit order in, if one trades that way down at like 3,200. But if you caught that wick and it continued upwards after that, crazy way to trade. Not really endorsing that, but I'm sure there's people doing it. If I looked at the order books, I'm sure there's tons of limits in there. Bitcoin, I got my limits in at 64,000. I'm going to put them in at 64,000, and then like 60,100, 60,200 or so. Would not surprise me if this sideways pattern that the whales are playing, in my opinion, does pan out, and we see a nice hard dump, and then we come back up. That's just the range. I mean, that's how the big money does it. Bottom line, on the very, very immediate time frame, looking at Bitcoin, it's kind of in a weak spot. I never like to trade, honestly. Wait a second. But on this is a 45-minute chart. If we look, we're right now we're kind of ranging between that 200 and that 314 on the 45-minute chart. Always kind of a weak spot to be. Looking at a 4-hour chart, where we at? 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is just a menace right now. It has been for a while. But yeah, upwards chart, upwards, we were doing pretty good in the 4-hour chart. We even broke out of that upward channel we had. Now we're below it. It's all about, are we going to make that move down to the 200 and then continue back up, or are we going to break back into that upward channel and continue the rise to glory? It's just really hard to tell right now. Anyway, it's just difficult weekend for trading. If you go to bitcoindailyview.com or look in the show notes, the description, you will see a link to blockchain education, and that's where blockchain finance manager Robert has just been kicking out amazing trades. Like check this out, like all weekend. He like never sleeps. He's been after it. So, if you did one, hey, I need to find a really good setup. He was putting out some like Omni versus BTC just woke up. ENS versus BTC is pushing on the 4-hour. Bake versus BTC. ENA versus BTC. So anyway, there's some little tidbits for you. Anyway, those are good to check out. I hadn't really thought about it today, but he was looking at setups that are alts making nice moves against Bitcoin, which definitely could be a way to increase your sats. Maybe tomorrow we'll look at some trades as far as alts versus BTC. That could be a good play moving into this new week, especially if Bitcoin kind of keeps that sideways range. That it's sideways. Let me reframe that. Maybe that'll be a good play next week. We'll do what we can to get into some things, to look at some stuff. But right now, today, I'm just doing some fun limit orders just to see if they happen to fill like 64K, 60K for Bitcoin, and that's that. Anyway, guys, take care, and I will be back tomorrow.